Welcome back. It's time for Albania to adopt the euro. I'm here in front of the Central Bank of Albania. This is the Banka e Shqipërisë. It's a beautiful building here. I just, turn around to see the Skanderbeg Square as well. And here's Skanderbeg, the opera. It's really beautiful. And I want now to make this opportunity to launch my campaign for Albania to adopt the euro. It's a very important project. There's no doubt about it. And I call for the Central Bank of Albania to adopt the euro now in 2021 and to release it towards 2022, fully euroize then Albania. Because there's many reasons for that, and I will explain them now all. The most important reason though is peace. Peace matters most, And here we have this task of Albania to help the friends in Kosovo and adopt the euro. I will explain how that matters. Because the same should be done by Macedonia and by Bosnia to make very clear for Serbia that it's the euro now. Because the only thing we Europeans can in the short time offer to the Serb voters and to the Serb citizens and to the Serb elite is, and the elite of Serbia who will make the decision of recognition of Kosovo, is that Europe gives the euro for Serbia. And in order to make that credible, it's now necessary to have Albania euroized, Macedonia, and Bosnia. So it will be very clear that Serbia will be the only country, maybe with Hungary, which has not the euro in the Balkans. And that will be, I think, a strong signal. And then the offer comes for peace in the Balkans, meaning the recognition by Serbia of Kosovo independence and statehood in the present form. No compromises or whatever kind of words, but this as a kind of a clear signal and peace, real peace, by recognition, and Europe in exchange allowing Serbia to euroize. And the key for that is Albania, because Albania has to do this now for peace for Kosovo. It's important. There might be some people who love the lake. You have this beautiful currency. Yes, okay, patriotism is very important. But in European Union, as you know, anyhow, we have the euro. So it's the euro for Albania. It's very logical. And when you join the European Union, then you can go through all the processes and wait another 20 years with that. That's all possible. But why lose a lot of time and maybe 20 years more? It doesn't bring a lot of additional benefit to anybody. And we have seen the example of Kosovo euroization, of Montenegro euroization. It works much better. Kosovo is now almost as rich as Albania. Historically, that was unbelievable. It's of course a much more peripheral nation and much more complicated geography and history. And Albania now is almost the same level of prosperity. And the same is true also for Montenegro. It's almost 30% richer because of euroization. That makes the foreign investment easier. That makes all the transaction more calculatable. That gives the security of investment. That the euro is the firm fundament of prosperity for Europeans everywhere and also for Albania. And also it's a clear signal that Albania really wants to join the EU, and it's the EU which makes the mistake. So that's also very important. By adopting the euro unilaterally, basically outperforming all this Dutch and French resistance and maybe others, and all these Islamophobes and all these problems we have in Europe, you just outperform them by bypassing straight to Brussels by joining the Eurozone. It's not possible, but the euro, to adopt it, that's absolutely possible, because this decision, which currency is released to the public, can be taken by the sovereign nation of Albania and its institution, the central bank. You don't need to ask. You don't need to have any approval. The technical levels is with the digitalization of the payment systems already, it's easy. Everywhere you can basically with a push of a button already change between currencies. The technical infrastructure of electronic payment is there, it's implemented. Additionally, in Albania, it's not like in other countries where they are more restrictive, but here you can go to the city center and take euros from the bancomat. The properties of these beautiful places, here for example, it's booming, it's the New York of the Balkans. Already everybody calculates in euros. They say, okay, this one possible for 2,000 euro per square meter. They don't calculate in lek. And also when it comes to big items, it's in lek. it's in euros, obviously, yeah? And when it comes to the price of cars. So here the euroization of the technical level has been very much advanced. And most of the international support comes in euros, of course some in dollars as well from America, but most is in euro from the European Union. Most foreign direct investment from the European Union. Most also remittances. Yeah? Where do the Albanians work? Obviously many work as well in America, in Canada, in Australia, but most of them are of course in the European Union. It's the biggest trading partner. It's the source of foreign investments, of remittances. So the Eurozone really matters. And what is really the reason to have a own currency for a small economy very much attached to a big internal market where you anyhow want to join? You anyhow want to join the European Union, and it's obligatory to have the euro. So it's anyhow not a long-term future for the lake, somehow separated here in the Balkans as a long-term stable thing. But these are economic arguments. Obviously, it's very good for foreign investments, for SMEs, for the banking sector stability, being also then much cleaner and more transparent, easier to calculate, more information about prices and all these things. So there's many reasons for the euro in Albania. But the most important again is the geostrategic reason of peace in the Balkans, and I think this is the most moral thing and the most noble thing Albania can do now for your partners, friends and brothers and sisters in Kosovo, just over there over the mountains. The new republic, 13 years now, still not recognized by Serbia. And we need something which the Serbs want, which the Serbs voters can understand, and which is big, which is meaningful, because there will be huge protests. When Vucic really is a serious man, there might be serious doubts about that one, but imagine, he now thinks about recognition, because the Americans make pressure, the EU, and he really wants to join the EU. Immediate EU membership, as he dreams of, is unfortunately impossible. You have to fulfill all the standards. You have to geostrategically align as well. This is not so easy for Serbia because they have this pivot to Russia, and so on and so on. So he has to make some serious choices, and we have to make some serious choices as well. And this is absolutely the euro, which we can offer. We can offer the euro very easily. We have done it in a question of war and peace 20 years ago for Montenegro and for Kosovo, and we will do it now as well for Albania, and this is the way to do it. And I call now on the authorities, let's get it done. Here is the central bank. Don't waste any time. We need you as the moral winner, as the peacemakers in the Balkans by doing the euro now. Macedonia next, best simultaneously. And that's in all the debate about mini Schengen and all this rare, the currency and customs union of the Southern Balkans, obviously. Then we have only the euro here in the Southern Balkans, from Greece to Montenegro, Kosovo and so on, and Albania and Macedonia. Also Croatia is now joining, Bulgaria is now joining, and also Bosnia should adopt the euro. And then on the Balkans, it's only Romania and Hungary, the late starters in the EU, and Serbia. And then comes the 5th of October 2021. I recommend to have there this agreement and do it very fast. Recognition voted in the parliament of Serbia for Kosovo. At the same time, the legal and preparatory agreements for the euro for Serbia. So all the Serb voters will have some tangible benefit. Yeah? Of course, the nationalists will go crazy, but they will anyhow go very crazy because it will be similar like in Macedonia, Montenegro. There will be huge protests in Serbia. Let's be sure about it. Yeah? This will be dramatic. So what we need is now something to offer for the Serb middle class. There are millions of serious and good Serbs as well who live in Belgrade and Niš and Novi Sad and beautiful places. They are the democratic Serbia out there, and this is the offer of Europe. The euro for democratic Serbia, for the Serbian middle classes, for the Serbian families, yeah, to be part of the euro system. Yes, it's possible, and it must be done now. And for this, it starts here in the Albanian Central Bank. And that's why I call the tool for peace was always the euro. We started with the currency union, with the Werner Plan, remember in '68, for really as an answer in the Cold War, for European unification. Kohl did the euro to unify Germany. This is the way. And now we have to do the same for the Balkans, unify and peacemaking in the Balkans with the tool of the currency, with the euro. And it starts now here in Albania. Please, Albania, start here and do it. Albanian Central Bank, please adopt the euro and do it in this year. Thanks a lot for listening. It's time for the euro for Albania. Thanks a lot.